If you want to know how I reduced my gaming by 80%, I was still able to play games at least an hour a day, and I was able to build my relationship, still go to the gym, have a job, 2x my income because I worked more. Watch this video, hope you enjoy my Battlefield 6 better gameplay. If you have played Battlefield 6, what are your opinions? Do you think it's going to be good? Do you think it's going to be bad? Let me know. So a little bit of backstory about why I actually reduced my gaming time, and I want to be full on transparent. I love gaming. I think it's fun pastime. I think it's enjoyable. I believe you can make friends. Here's the problem that comes with it. Gaming is fun, but it can definitely take over your life. And at that point, maybe I was in my teenage years, I was at school, and I came into the same consistent problem, which was I played too many games, I did not do my homework, therefore my grades have failed. And that slowly perceived into my adult life. I eventually got a job, I got some money, and I would just come home, play games, go to sleep, wake up, play games, go to work, and go to sleep, repeat. And maybe a year or so after doing this, I realized that my health wasn't really getting any better, and my life wasn't really improving. It was more just on constant repeat, which was go to work, come home, play some games, go to sleep, and repeat this 365 days of a year. Now, if you're happy with that type of life, you can go and do it, but if you are not happy, continue watching this video. The reason for me is I wasn't happy is because I knew that I wanted more out of life. I knew that I wanted fancy things like a Porsche 911. I knew that I wanted to do something in the business route. I knew that I wanted to do something that would make me money, and gaming was fun, but I knew deep down that it would not make me money. So the only thing I knew at the time was, hey, if you work at your job, work more, make more money. And a few years later, I saved up enough money to move to another state, and eventually, instead of working the traditional 38, 40 hours a week, I started working 60, 70 hours a week, and my gaming time just naturally reduced. Quick little upsell for you guys. If you guys are interested in a school community where I pretty much teach you one-on-one how you can improve your life by simply just reducing gaming, as I have done in my own life, and you want to learn the step-by-step program, there's a school community link in the description. If you want to know, check that out. Currently it is at a pretty big discount, so if you want cheap stuff for good value, go check that out. Getting back into it. So I knew that I was making more money, obviously, because I was working more, and I was in a pretty good relationship at that point. That's mainly the reason I moved to a whole other state, and I don't regret it. So this is a point of a video where I would invite people to look at their life and generally ask themselves the question, are they happy where they are? Because I think that a lot of people use it as a coping mechanism to just play games in their bedroom or whatever, kind of be okay if their life isn't where they want it to be. The reason that I believe that this is the case is because gaming gives you this false identity that you're making some sort of progress when you're really not. You know, you see your character getting bigger, better weapons, you see your battle pass leveling up, you see your level leveling up, and it's cool for the game. You know, they designed it this way and it works pretty well. So in your brain, feel like you're making real progress, which is cool, but it's just simply not true. So if you made it this far into the video, then I would guarantee that if you spent 20 minutes just in pure silence, no phone, no computers, no laptops, no notifications going off on your phone, and genuinely ask yourself the question, am I happy with my current life? If yes, great. If not, like 99% of people, well, ask yourself, write this down in a Google document, write it down in your Apple Notes if you are happy with your life or not. Simple answer, yes or no. Or it could be a simple case of, well, I like this part of my life, but I don't like this part of my life. And really start to dig deep to why you do or do not like your life. Maybe you don't have enough money. That was my case. I grew up pretty poor. I got kicked out of school because my parents couldn't afford their school fees, and that was a bummer because I pretty much lost all my friends and had to start from scratch at the age of 16, 17, but I adapted into my new school pretty well. But your situation might be different. You might be heavily into porn addiction, you might be heavily into weed, you might be in sort of abusive, toxic relationships, whether you're a male or a female, both can happen. And for me, my main problem was, well, I'm not happy with the money I'm making because I want stupidly expensive stuff like a Porsche 911, which obviously you can't get with a labor job because just math doesn't math correctly. If you put in your life expenses, you're never going to buy that car. So for me, I was like, well, if I want a Porsche, what do I need to do? I need to make a bunch of money. Am I making a bunch of money from my job? Not really, but I'm making some sort of income, which is okay if you just want to live a pretty average, mediocre life. Is driving around in a Porsche 911 like driving around in a Toyota Camry? No, it's 10x more expensive, and chances are that you're going to make 10x more money in your job is fairly low unless you work a pretty high income job, which I did not and still do not in this case. So for me, I was doing some research, and if this is your case and you're broke, what I would recommend is looking at people who are rich, analyze what they did, and pretty much replicate it. I'm in the scenario where I like making content. I want to improve on making my content. I want to improve on my voiceovers, gameplay, appearance, all that on camera. And I want to sell a course that can, one, make me a bunch of money, two, help people that are in a similar scenario where they believe that they can improve their life. Gaming can hold them back. Gaming can hold them back from their potential. And so many times I went through phases where I would play games and a voice in the back of my head would say, this is not productive, you're not working, you should be working. And in my particular scenario, it was, you're never going to be rich enough to buy a Porsche 911. And as small as that might seem for some people, for me it sucked. I really like that car. I really want that car. So what I did was I reduced my gaming to maybe 30 minutes to an hour a day. And I would just focus harder. I would also stop doom scrolling on my phone, and I would dedicate more time towards this YouTube channel, my business/course, and I would work more to make more money, because the more money I have, the more money I can spend on things like Facebook ads and stuff like that, which can get pretty expensive. But for me it's okay because I earn a pretty okay amount of money and my expenses are fairly low. So the summary of this video is, if you're happy with your life, great. If you aren't happy with it, write it down, figure out why, maybe put it in the comment section below, and maybe I can give my 2 cents on the situation. Mine was pretty much, I was broke. I wanted a way to fix it, and currently I'm working on my way to fix it, which is far better than doing nothing at all. Most people would just accept that things aren't working out, it should be this way forever, and I simply refuse. So if your brain is wired in that way, maybe my course is for you, maybe this channel is for you. Consider subscribing. See you guys next time.